If you've been gardening for a while, or even if you're just starting out, you've probably heard someone say healthy soil means healthy plants. But what if I told you that the real heroes of soil health are quietly wriggling just beneath our feet, working harder than most of us realize? I'm talking about worms. Yes, the humble earthworm, often overlooked and underappreciated, is the secret weapon that rice farmers have relied on for centuries. And the same secret can work wonders in your backyard garden. Whether you grow tomatoes, leafy greens, or ornamentals, worms can transform tired soil into a living, breathing ecosystem. And today on Soil to Seed, we're diving into how you can harness this rice field secret for richer, more productive soil at home. Let's start with a little story from the rice paddies. In flooded fields, worms thrive in the soft, organic, rich mud. Over time, farmers noticed something remarkable. Rice crops grown in worm-friendly paddies were consistently stronger, healthier, and more productive. These worms weren't just surviving, they were actively shaping the soil. Here's where a lot of gardeners get confused. Not all worms are the same, and, knowing the difference will help you make the most of them in your garden. Earthworms, like night crawlers, are soil dwellers. They live deep underground, creating these permanent burrows and helping aerate your soil. Composting worms, like red wigglers, live near the surface. They thrive in decaying organic matter and are basically the stars of vermicomposting bins. So, how do you roll out the welcome mat for worms in your soil? The secret is creating a worm-friendly environment. Here are strategies that have worked wonders for me and for countless gardeners. First, feed them. Worms thrive on organic matter. Adding compost, mulched leaves, or even kitchen scraps to your beds will provide them with a steady diet. Just avoid tossing in greasy or processed foods, though. Worms really prefer natural plant-based scraps. Second, keep the soil moist but not waterlogged. Worms breathe through their skin, so dry soil is a death sentence for them. Mulching with straw, leaves, or wood chips not only helps retain moisture, but also keeps the soil temperature more stable. If you really want to tap into the worm power, consider setting up a vermicomposting system. This is essentially a worm farm where red wigglers transform your food scraps into castings. It's easier than it sounds and honestly incredibly rewarding. Start with a simple bin. Plastic storage bins work fine as long as you add ventilation holes. Add bedding material like shredded newspaper or coconut coir. Then introduce your worms. From there, feed them small amounts of kitchen scraps like vegetable peels, coffee grounds, and fruit trimmings, and just watch as your waste turns into black gold. Every few months, you'll be able to harvest castings for your garden. This closed-loop system not only reduces household waste, but also ensures a steady supply of the most powerful organic fertilizer available. For me, vermicomposting was a game-changer. My seedlings grew stronger, my yields increased, and I felt connected to the natural cycle in a way I hadn't before. When you look at the big picture, worms aren't just about nutrients or aeration. They're about balance. A worm-rich soil is alive with microbes, fungi, and beneficial organisms. This living ecosystem creates resilience, helping plants resist pests, diseases, and even extreme weather. Rice farmers learned this lesson centuries ago, but it's just as relevant today in our backyards. In a world where chemical quick fixes are tempting, worms remind us that soil health is about long-term care and natural processes. When you foster worms, you're not just improving your garden. You're contributing to healthier, more sustainable food systems. So here's the truth. Worms aren't optional. They're essential partners in any thriving garden. Whether you're growing rice in a paddy, tomatoes in raised beds, or herbs on a balcony, worms are the secret to richer soil, healthier plants, and bigger harvests. From tunneling and aeration to castings and composting, they do the hard work while we reap the rewards. All we have to do is create the right conditions and let them thrive. If there's one takeaway from this deep dive, it's that worms are gardeners' best friends. They're the silent workforce beneath our feet, turning dirt into soil and soil into abundance. By learning from rice farmers and applying these lessons at home, you can create a garden that's not just productive, but truly alive. If you found this guide helpful, don't keep the secret to yourself. Share it with a fellow gardener, and let's spread the word about the power of worms. And of course, make sure you subscribe to Soil to Seed for more in-depth hands-on tips to grow healthier plants and build better soil. Together, we can cultivate gardens and communities that flourish from the ground up.